Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. Welcome to this Future Friday, where I don't know. I thought I would just have some fun designing. It's basically mental fuel vomiting over the interwebs. Webs. It is Obsidian Star, the free tabletop role playing games, ostensibly rules light that I'm designing openly and using. Um, Verbally and visually describing what this game is about so that like maybe just maybe when you're designing your game, you know what purpose you're designing things for. And of course, if you have a similar goal, that's cool. If you go, yeah, I wouldn't really design a game that way, that's also excellent because then you know what you're doing. um Thank you there, Drew says, hope you had some sleep. Not really. So I'm not going to hold you guys very long because I'm not exactly sure whether my head will stand up. Now I have had a full cup of coffee, so I'm okay. I did a 3+ hour, 4 hour live stream last night. I think I didn't get off with Heath till like 1 in the morning. We started around 9 ish. So yeah, okay, yeah. It's I love. Listen, I love the blueprint-ish take something super serious that really doesn't exist idea. So yeah, I've got my Millennium Falcon blueprint shirt, and there are others that I have on the horizon that I am looking forward to. There are some fantasy blueprint shirts as well. But yeah, I love these. And if I see someone with a shirt like that, I look at him and I'm like, I give him like the chin nod, like the chin point, like, yeah, you a geek, you all that. Yeah, you got class. So Obsidian Star, tabletop role playing game, uh, 2D12 singularity system. You guys already know it is a roll high, but not over system. And I understand that the concept for it is uh, we psychologically like big number go up. And also, I was going to make it lower number better, but I was like, well, how do you roll your effectiveness and a result at the exact same time? So I decided to make number go up, except for ones are always successful. So double ones are galactic successes, and double 12s fail, double 12s are galactic failures. You guys already know that. Hopefully, there are some people from from the stream from last night with Heath who has invited me back for any number of occasions. He really enjoyed talking to me. I'm going to take him at his word that he's really interested in having my opinion and involved in a thing, and also invited me out to a possible gathering of tabletop role players and YouTubers for a large group trip out to San Diego, which is kind of cool. So yeah. Yeah, me too. And King, he's like, yeah, I love how they map out yeah, I loved when artists would map out superhero bases, showing how the JSA manor works and such. And then always looking around like, where's the bathroom? You can't have just one bathroom for the JSA. You're gonna need at least what is it? The character Martian Manhunter. He's at least gonna have to have his own stall, you know. Anyway, I'm being funny. So I mentioned before, I'm not sure about the legality, but I'm going to do this anyway. Many games are in the Creative Commons. In other words, the games are created where other people can use them for personal and commercial purposes. And there are a number of games I'm pulling from to to give them props for an idea that I had a parallel development with, or I physically actually was like, I'm going to get this game, look through it, and take what I want. Uh, right in front of me, Morkborg is one of those games. Lumen is another small indie game. Yeah, yeah. Last Obsidian Friday till next year. Hey, shits or Lords. It's only one shit. Many Lords. Oh, could you go to the bathroom for someone else? Talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, the idea is that there are a number of games that have ideas in it that I also had ideas, and I was like, hey, we gotta get together and got to see if these work out. Hey, Sadre. So one of the games is a powered PTAB. I'm screwing up the acronym. Powered by the Apocalypse. PBTA. Woo! And one of those, yeah, last greeting this chat room for a year. Wait till next year it happens, right? So and King says also, I just peeped that gear and baggage are both useful for trips, like a long trip through space. Yeah. Gear sounds like a good thing. Carrying around a lot of baggage, we already know what that means in our current parlance, and I'm purposefully using that word to represent that. And I want to represent the positive and negative. So there are a number of games I'm stealing from. I'll put them in here. Lumen. I'm going to say it. Cairn, not Karen. Thirsty Sword, Lesbians, and Morkborg. I understand I'm mispronouncing Morkborg, but I would challenge you that the mispronunciation of this game, that Morkborg is now, not Karen, that Morkborg is now the name of this game as opposed to the proper pronunciation of Dark Fort, right? So I would dare say that the current title of this specific game is Mork Borg, whereas the pronunciation of the word Dark Fort in this other language is Mork Bore, something like that. I'm butchering the pronunciation, but I know that it doesn't mean Mork Borg. What's the other game? I've already lost it. But anyway, I'll put these in the chat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a shout out to these games as a development for this game under Creative Commons. Well, why did I do that? Well, I'm going to show you. So here we have one of the playbooks from a game titled Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Yes, that is the title of the game. YouTube. I am not making this up. And these are, let me actually reduce the size of this. This is what's known as a playbook. So right here we have character archetypes, and within Powered by the Apocalypse, they're called playbooks, and it's like an archetype of the type of character you would play. Very easy to pick up. It tells you what the purpose, it gives you generalizations of how to play that character. And in this particular role-playing game, it is about bestial swordswomen. I'm pronouncing the W. Swordswomen who do battle, but also are intricately linked emotionally and affecting each other during their vast battles and against enemies, I don't know, foreign and domestic, and having conflict with each other, both physically and especially emotionally. And these playbooks tell you, and of course they have some couple of images here. They've got the Beast and the Chosen and such, and it gives you some role-playing opportunities. Yes, of course, the title of the game it is not clickbaity. It is actually part of the game. And if you're someone who's like, I don't know, maybe vaguely offended by the fact, this isn't the game for you. But there is something about this game that I want to point out. What type of character is this? This is the infamous. Yeah, once participated in wicked deeds, but they've become fiercely righteous in trying to atone, and such. So forth. Each of these, the nature witch, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to go back up to the beginning playbook. There's something that I'm pulling from this that I want you guys to see, and you'll understand why. So during the game, characters can acquire conditions. I'm going to enhance this a whole lot, and maybe a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. So these conditions are like a wound track, but they are an emotional track for your characters. And I thought this would be, or taking something from this would be great for this particular role playing game. And there's a reason why I like these, because it requires, in a very short amount of time, it gives us a numeric value, it tells us what it affects, and then it tells you how to get rid of that effect. And I like that. I like the simplicity of something to describe something complex. It also takes us away from being a combat game only, which I like, as well as the fact that this doesn't control what the player character does. It gives the player the choice to remove this condition or keep the condition as long as they see fit while role playing. So let me see what you guys have to say. That's a lot to say, but oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Mothership. I love Mother. Now, if you, side note, if you guys have not seen or copped a copy of the game Mothership, it's worth. If you are a designer at all, or you love horror or something, you gotta pick up Mothership. It is a great game, designed expertly to the point where the character sheet itself tells you how to play the game. It's excellent. It's excellent. Whoever laid out the character sheets for Mothership, perfect, spot on. When I hear this, I really like TFL for many reasons, including their lines and veil system. No one is. Do you mean Thirsty Sword Lesbians? Lines and veil system. No one is saying what content you can and can't include, but they establish a system for players to address what content they are in for and not okay with, and okay with, but off screen. Exactly. For those who don't know, lines and veils basically, long story short, it's green light, yellow light, red light. Green light, this is okay. Yellow, I don't mind it being here, but can we not get so deep into the weeds and describing it? Can we just fade to black? And then red is, we need to hard stop here. Let's not go further. So yeah, and it is about relationships and how do you mechanize sex, lust, romance, anger, jealousy, obsession. How do you mechanize that? It's pretty cool. Heathen says it gives a ton of room for world building and character building, and a very flexible with the story, and heavily leans into the rule of cool. Yep, it's not for people who like crunch, but great for people who like me are into heavy role playing. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, reason for the titles is that the game leans into queer themes. Exactly. Exactly. And mind you, how do I explain this? If you look past, this is strange to say, but if you look past the queerisms, it's just a really excellent role-playing game, which basically just means that the queerisms are just regular, it's just regular folk stuff. It just so happens to be coded this way, but it's literally just a regular role-playing game that that incorporates sociological interconnectivity between people. It's actually quite masculine in its queerness, if that makes sense. She's like, try curious anime prawn in the 25th century. Welcome to Obsidian Star. Yeah. The End King says, a lot of PBTA games, your character is designed to play into tropes and themes. Exactly. Like you get more XP and your character gets powerful if you play along. And sometimes, listen, here's the thing that sometimes happens amongst players when we design games, when we have a game. Sometimes we're so creative, we don't play into the tropes that are common to that game. Where I'm trying to pick a thematic. Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk is about, we all know Cyberpunk is about street level, underworld, cybernetics, stitched into people in back rooms, and there's like ripper docs that are doing it in like graffiti filled places with neon lights, and it's us fighting against the corporations and stuff. And if you have somebody who's like, well, I don't mind playing Cyberpunk, but I want to play a wizard, and I didn't mention Shadowrun, I'm talking Cyberpunk. It's like, could you actually play the game we're playing? Don't don't try to play a Jedi in my Cyberpunk game. Play into the trope. And PB, ooh, what was that about? My light went out. I guess I'll have to turn that one up. So, um, and so playing into tropes is actually a good thing, and because it allows us to embrace the themes, even if some of those themes are a little bit ridiculous. And King says, like, if there's a playbook called The Unreliable, you get rewarded for being a flake who the rest of the party hates. And it also, listen, the playbooks also alert everyone at the table that that player is not being an asshole. That player is playing into a trope that we all agree is part of the trope of that character, right? If you're playing a character who's like you said, the unreliable, the coward, the clumsy character, the what's some other anti-action oriented uh um the turncoat. If you have a playbook that is a character that works against the other, works against the forward momentum of the game, it's not them being horrible. Whereas if you play Dungeons and Dragons, there is no trope or reward for working against the party. It's just us having fun. But some people get upset when you're like, oh, I want to play the clumsy character that accidentally sets off the trap. And everyone else rolls their eyes and it's like, oh, I hate when that person shows up, right? Cyberpunk, where all the prawn is in your head. Hells yeah. Drew's like, yeah, voice in the dark. Oh man, foot and mouth. Yep, foot and mouth problem. You're fine, Heathen. You're fine. Heathen says, since I've lived out a ton of queer themes in real life, I really got into this game. It speaks to me on a level most games don't. Oh, that's awesome. And I may I segue a little bit here? Thank you for feeling comfortable being able to express yourselves in the themes that you have and in your lives, that you feel safe and comfortable bringing that to me here, because it makes I'm sorry, it makes me feel proud that your honesty is you have an expression, a place you can express yourself. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Drew, Heathen, and everybody else, you've always been welcome here, and I really appreciate it. So, getting back into this game, TSL. Okay, as you can see here, proudly displayed, we have conditions, and we have this first condition. There's 5 of them, and there's angry, and it says -2 to figure out a person. So what ends up happening in this game, you get a negative penalty to figure out what someone's motivations are, and it represents angry, and you have this condition. And unlike many role-playing games where on a short rest, long rest, healing potion, you get to get rid of this condition, the way to get rid of this condition is to clear, break something important to you or someone you care about. And so this feeds into, to clear this condition, break something important, right? So now you as the player, not the narrator, dungeon master, the spiral arm, the spiral that's running the game. No, you as the star, you decide you're going to be walking around pissed off and angry with this negative connotation. You want to get rid of it? You got to break something, or break something important to you or someone you care about. So maybe there's another individual in the game and you break something they care about. And this means that there can be some antagonistic actions, but we're all together here. And mind you, again, this is about relationships. There's a frightened condition. You get frightened condition, -2 to fight, right? Hey, I'm scared. I have a penalty to fight something. Or here it says, how long does it last? Well, to clear, run away and leave something important behind. what a great storytelling element, right? Not only do you have to run away from what you're scared of, but you have to leave something important behind. Is it that sword that is special to you? Is it that big giant Gatling gun you've been carrying around? Or maybe it's something else that's important, like um, the zip drive, the cortical stack of a loved one that you've been carrying around, and you drop it and leave it behind. Now you've got to go back into the fearful situation. Well, not necessarily go back into the fearful situation. You've cleared your fear, your frightened condition. You suck it up and then go back in to retrieve whatever it is that you've left behind. And maybe your enemy has taken advantage of that, knowing that you got scared and dropped this thing. Storytelling, I love it. How just one line or simple information brings along great storytelling opportunities. We have guilty, -2 to emotional support. Basically, you have a penalty to help other people out because you feel guilty. How do you get rid of it? To clear, sacrifice something important just to hurt yourself for what you did. And so, does that mean I'm stealing this? Yes. As was mentioned in the live stream I did last night, they were like, "It sounds like you took that from ICRPG," and I was like, "No, it doesn't sound like it. It actually is what I did." Same thing here with hopeless. Yeah, -2 to defy disaster. Ooh, okay, well, all right. I want to get rid of that. How do I do that? To clear, lose yourself in escapism or pleasure when you should be doing something important. I love it. I love it. And so, and then lastly, we have insecure. It's -2 to entice, -2 and to entice an NPC or maybe even one of the player characters. And how do you get rid of your insecurity? To clear, take rash action to confront the object of your jealousy and prove your worth without any plan or advice. And so, taking this as example, and mind you, Creative Commons, right? So Thirsty Sword Lesbians has a Creative Commons moniker. It has a Creative Commons a logo, and it even has the wording that's put out there, just like Morkborg and the other things. It that exists, and so of course I'm going to give a shout out to why I think it's great, where it comes from, and of course, since I'm not making any money off of it, whatever. Shitlord says, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, the new face of cisnormative anthropo supremacy? Literally, I doubt it. It's literally one role-playing game out of, I don't know, hundreds of thousands? So I don't think so. Oh, man. Cyberpunk, where they'll turn off your coke and speed receptors, so be good for goodness sake. Was that in Neuromancer? You shit was like, yeah, Seg, brother. Yeah. Just anyway, y'all punched me in my feels, and I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, coke and speed receptors turn off. That's some real baggage. Yeah. Heathen says, "Oh, I recently ran away from my family of origin because my life was in danger. What's the chat room going to do to me?" Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these are just words. Real life is far more important. So, I'm glad you're able to be here. Hanata says, when I started playing GURPS, I still didn't have the ability to restrict it to a scenario or a type of world. So more than once, I had to stop that guy who, yeah, in a medieval fantasy wanted to be a sniper. In my defense, I was about 16 years old. We've made those mistakes, both allowing a thing like that to happen and playing with people who just weren't on the same page, right? Yeah, I should do a short video. Hey, players, here's a bit of advice. Play the game that's in front of you, right? There's nothing wrong, using your example, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to play the sniper. How about doing that in a game where that actually makes sense? Don't play a Jedi in my I don't know, cyberpunk corporate overlords thing, you know. Oh, that's funny. One tip I can offer for Thirsty Sword Lesbians is to make sure to remember to help your other party members clear conditions. I forgot to say that. Yes, one of the aspects, I'm going to call it an economy. In sometimes in role playing games, we have a thing known as an economy, and in role playing game parlance, an economy of something is a numeric value or traits or conditions or whatever that constantly ebb and flow up and down uh, throughout the game's process. So hit points in Dungeons and Dragons are an economy. They constantly go up and down and they ebb and flow based on um, positive and negative dice rolls, reactions, role playing, and things like that. Fate has fate points, and you gain and lose fate points up and down all the time. In Cipher system, you gain experience points that you can spend for successes and gain to increase your character level, but you can also give them to other people and spend them to get your fat out of the fryer, and it goes up and down. And clearing conditions, it encourages you to engage with someone else. Maybe, for example, a character is jealous. You as another person, volunteer your role playing to clear the condition of your ally so that they can be jealous of you and do something against you to encourage that behavior. Ooh. Shai says, what is the name of this game anyway? I did the unthinkable and got up 10 after 6. I'll put it up in a minute. TSL rules are set up to create, interpersonal drama between the characters. Yeah. It says, do you really need a whole new game for this? Couldn't you just take your good old first books and say, ding, this is Tricurious Anime Braun AD&D now? Of course you could, but it took this long to think. Yes, he is. Yeah, I know. When I hear this, like, yeah, he's just shit posting. Yes. Listen, Shitlords is always welcome here because Shitlords keeps punching me in the. I'm gonna trigger this dude. I'm gonna see if I can get this guy triggered, right? So that's why that's the Lord's purpose being here. So I actually kind of I appreciate it because it keeps me on my toes. It challenges me. How do I explain it? It's the barometer by which I measure myself to find out whether I'm a hypocrite or not, which I probably am, but whatever. Shice is like, yeah, that was in Neuromancer. Give me nightmares, but at least he ends up with a stack of hexagons. Yes, for those who don't know, in Neuromancer, there was our main character, and I think this is like in at least the first couple of pages, if not the first chapter, that our character is a hacker who can't hack because his neural pathways have been numbed out to truly hack the way he wants to, and begins the game trying to figure out how to get these neuro blockers out of his brain so that he can hack. So yeah, so am I. You have no idea, or maybe you do. My hope is you don't. Hey, Gaster. My version. Hey, players, you don't have to be clever all the time. If you're playing a horror game, it's okay to touch the dead slasher or split up. Yeah. Sometimes playing into the trope, right? I remember playing a horror game where one of the players snatched the spark plugs out of our escape car because the game master forgot to take away our escape path, and this character got pissed off and snatched the spark plugs out of the cars, and we were all like, what are you doing? That means we can't escape. But it led into the tropes of doing the dumb thing so that horror things would happen to it. Anyway, it was a great idea, and we were just like, yeah, you should have did that. And the game master was like, oh, I forgot about the car. And that character, the person playing that character, realized we had a way to escape, and in character nullified that by taking the spark plugs and tossing them in the woods and being pissed off and stuff like that. It was really cool. Yes, this is the last Obsidian Star Friday of the year. And Gaster, you don't have to apologize for shit, dude. Yeah. Heathen says, yeah, oh, I love shit posting. Shit posting and cats, the two best things on the internet. Yeah. This, oh, I never tried to trigger you. Okay, okay, lords, if you say so. I don't. Okay, maybe the word trigger is a little bit too harsh for that. Says, do that was in reference? Oh, that was in reference to knowing what it's like to have your life in danger. Oh, I'm hoping it's not a thing you've experienced, but it's more common than it should be. Uh, Two rare occasions I felt like my life was in danger, and yeah, it wasn't very nice. But yeah, but nowhere. Listen, nowhere near the life experiences of some people today, or some people today who realize that that threat is growing in their life. I used the word quilt bags the other day to represent the, dare I say, queer community or something. You guys know what the acronym is. Yeah, indeed. When in doubt, do something stupid. Just do something. Yeah, role play gets interesting when characters are proactive and do things. Yeah, so, and to not have to worry about making, air quotes, a mistake. Some role playing games, especially combat focused games, are dependent upon making the correct decision, the optimal decision to do something with your character. Whereas powered by the apocalypse, and especially this game, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, is indicative of do a thing. It doesn't. The whole point is not to do the optimal thing combat wise. It's just do a thing. Don't You're not going to break the game by screwing up, right? Tell us what the intoxicating substances are. I don't know. Maybe. Well, there are physics cracking a brewski in the blackness of space, but we'll get into that. All right, so here we have. I am showing my version of the negative traits, baggage that can be acquired in the game Obsidian Star. And each of these can be alleviated by engaging in something to get it off of your character. The baggage is negative. So gear is good, baggage bad. Positive, good things are physical gear, guns, tools, equipment, cybernetics, all the cool science fiction stuff, right? What are some other good positive traits? Your skill in negotiating, your background as a spy, your connections to the underworld. All of these things are good on your character sheet. And my reason for designing gear versus baggage and them taking the same place, i.e., baggage always bumps gear temporarily. And my reason, the design mechanism is when we make many characters in role-playing games, there are aspects on our character sheet that are never under threat. And I wanted to create a system where playing the game, the very things that make you a badass are under threat. But I also wanted the players to put it in their hands to decide what it is that's threatened, how they lose it, and how they can get it back. So I don't want to be the spiral, the narrator, the storyteller, the game master to say to another player, your character sucks and you don't have this anymore. The classic, you're a paladin and you've done something against your oath and you no longer have your paladin abilities. I don't want it to be antagonistic. Rather, I want players to acquire conditions, baggage, and then they decide how to get rid of it during the course of play. And they get to decide what it bumps off of their character sheet, at least temporarily. So we have our physical things: immobile, bleeding, debilitating, pain, burning, penetrated with a big old question mark, because I know people are going to go, penetrated? What does that mean? Dirty talk, juvenile language and behavior, giggling in a corner. But you'll understand what I mean by penetrated. Overstimulated, irradiated, weakness, poisoned, breathless, broken, and ionized. And these are my baggage traits. I'm going to just describe them later. I'm going to fill these out, but I want them to be very short, one simple sentence to figure out what it is. For example, irradiated means that you have been irradiated with radiation. And literally, if you are irradiated, you will die from radiation poisoning. Not now, but well, first of all, you radiate radiation. I'm trying to figure out how to write this as one line. You are irradiated, so you are now infused with radiation, and you will die in X number of days if you don't get something done. If you don't erase this. Now, radiation is widespread in our solar system. In this game, we have ways to alleviate being irradiated, but as a player character, it's up to you when and how you erase this irradiated condition from your character. And this is going to be done with everything in here. Like, and most physical baggage is healable. You know, basic role playing crap, right? I'm going to stop in a place to be healed. I'm going to, throw a slap patch on the wound or whatever. All these are physical things, very common conditions that happen to player characters in a battle-oriented game. Let's talk about being penetrated, shall we? What I mean by that is an outside physical object has even that's bad scripter. Okay. An outside physical object has been inserted into your body unpleasantly and not by your desire. So this could be a blade, this could be a needle, this could be a piece of shrapnel, this could be a smart shard that is digging or is trying to slide its way to your heart. I was going to call it impaled, but it could be something that I guess impaled would probably be less problematic, but you may not be thrown against a bulkhead with a sharp piece of iron. It could be a nanotech object that someone maybe slapped you on the back of your shoulder and is trying to dig into your body or something like that. But yeah, overstimulated, you're blinded, deafened. You walk into a place and digital information is covering your vision because you're getting all the ads that are in your peripheral and your heads-up display, and you can't see through it. Things like that. Overstimulated. Debilitating pain. I can't think of another single word for pain so intense that it curls you up. We have broken. Your character's broken, whether you are a machine and you have broken pieces, you broke your ankle, you have a broken rib, you have a broken elbow or shoulder or femur or something like that. Ionized, you've been static electricity, electrified, that kind of thing. All of these are conditions, and you can get rid of them in a physical manner. Let me move down to our mental baggage, and these are examples. Each of these stack. So if you don't get rid of, I'm sorry, let me go back up here to physical. So if you've become irradiated, that doesn't prevent you from being bleeding, and that doesn't prevent you from becoming immobilized, and that doesn't prevent you from becoming a burning subject, right? These keep stacking, and they can stack level 1, level 2, level 3. So if you're irradiated level 3, whatever it took for you to get rid of irradiation, you're going to have to do it 3 times to get rid of it to get you down to a 0 level. So yes, you can get broken 3, you can get poisoned 2. These can keep stacking up to level 3. Whew. Okay, I hope that was. Did I put angry on there? We'll see. We'll see. Heathen says arthritis. Schlong hammered. Yes. I knew someone would go there, and you, of course, you did. Punctured? You know what, Drew? You know what, Drew? Thank you. So I got this, DBJ. You either got stabbed, blasted with shrapnel, met a crackhead, or maybe even an alien parasite worming its way into your tear duct and into your cerebral cortex. Always the body horror. Thank you, Gaster Two Soul. Always with the body horror. Can you sacrifice yourself for foods that your reincarnated self may dine upon your lifeless flesh? I didn't go there with that, but sure, maybe. See, I thought about impaled too, Drew, but I like punctured because it could. Well, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna do it. Okay, where we at? Mm, 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 mm. Punctured. No, sorry. Uh, punctured. How about that? Oops. Of course, I misspelled. Not pictured. Damn it. There we go. Ooh, that makes a whole lot more sense. All right. Thank you very much, there, D. Yeah, arthritis. I don't know if that's anybody wants to play that in a role playing game, but I'll be role playing that in real life probably in the next couple of years. Okay, what game uses fate? No, fate uses itself. Fate is a game or a structure of a type of game. There's some fine meat in those bones. So what you're saying is I could be an immobile, bleeding, weakened, broken, poisoned, breathless, ionized, penetrated, ionized, and overstimulated and still be alive? Yeah, technically, yes, but you wouldn't want to be. You wouldn't want to be. It's over and over and over again. Yes. Punctured sounds like a fun name for yes. Yeah, for a punk band from the 90s. Hells yes. Jiminy Christmas, Stevie, you're making it sound like an opening to Johnny Got His Gun with this amount of stacked disabilities. Yeah. Oh, yep. Okay, so yeah, yes, they stack, and yes, you wouldn't want them to be that way, but it could be. Mental baggage. Let's get down to our mental baggage here. So we do have angry, tongue-tied, fearful, sleepless, guilty, defeated, apathetic, which I think is going to be pretty unique in the sense that apathy, becoming apathetic, will protect you from the other mental baggages, but also means that how I'm going to think of it, it also means that you don't care, so you can't benefit from other aspects of the game. Like if you're apathetic, you don't care, which means that you are not motivated. And strive is Obsidian Star's version of willpower. So I'm thinking that it either gets halved or you don't even have access to it at all. Of course, we got vengeful, dysmorphic, forgetful, convinced, and confused. And like Thirsty Sword Lesbians from that Powered by the Apocalypse game, you can acquire, these are other baggage types. They take the spot of, they are negative. They take the spot of some of your good stuff, your gear, and they do stack as well. You can have angry level 2, you can have guilty level 3, and they will stack. Mind you, I'm pretty damn sure no one's going to walk around with the first 6 of these all at level 3. But when you're at that point, your character really isn't playable. You're going to want to take either yourself or other player characters, or the setting itself will remove you from play until you can come back in some way, shape, or form. So yes, they do stack. Yes, if you think you could get away with it, you can keep role playing these things. But at a certain point, you're either going to self-remove your character from this and get over it to get rid of these, or maybe you're just someone who likes to walk around with a whole lot of baggage, annoying the hell out of everybody else. As was suggested by a heathen, other player characters helping you alleviate yourself of these conditions will actually help them out because it makes you useful in the game. So yes, these do stack. I may change dysmorphic because dysmorphia is the idea that you feel like you don't belong in your own body. And this can actually be a technological thing because there are real people who feel like they're born in the wrong body. But in a science fiction realm, you could be downloaded and wake up inside of, say, a machine's body or something like that. And so it could be dysmorphic. So yes, that's how dysmorphic or dysmorphia works in this world, in this game. And some of these are truly emotional, like angry, maybe even fearful, sleepless. You can't even get a good night's sleep. Others are things that could actually happen to you. I guess we would call physically, but you suffer the mental version of that physical thing, like being confused, or even being sleepless. Even works that way as well. Where or even forgetful. A head injury could cause these things as well. So there is some overlap if you would like to have that in the game. Um, so yeah, let me see what you guys have to say. Shitlords is like dysmorphia. Yeah, yeah. Jason 96. What did I miss? Hey everybody, let's rewind. Okay. Where's hungry? That's a mental. That's a mental baggage. Yeah, I guess so. Black exploitation of the 25th century. Of course there is. Shice is like, I would like to be more apathetic. Get it? Pathetic. I hear it. It's not apathy, it's pathetic. Yeah, Atomic Robo. There are some other ones. Yep, Dresden Files is a Fate, Evil Hat Fate game. You've got Evil Hat has plenty of Fate based games, and they're awesome. Awesome. This almost reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, the way your character can pick up negative traits like this. Yes, and like I said, my specific design process is I like to leave harmful things and choices in the hands of players to allow them to operate or not operate with or without those things. They have the choice in going, do I keep moving forward with this negative thing that I'm carrying around, or do we want to stop and allow the plot to continue or something? It says, oh, we have a saying for that. We call those removals by DM or player as leaving with the monks, mainly due to us having the comedic MacGuffin scenario of having one of the faulty player characters being sent away to live with some monks for a bit. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Taking Sleepless and then playing Fight Club in Obsidian Star. Yeah. Hey, Tyler Durden. Yeah, I guess he did. I guess he did miss a quilt bag knitting session. Hunger could be compound baggage, physical and mental, hitting you at the same time. I guess that could be true. I hadn't thought about that. All right, and lastly, so I can let you guys get out of here. Social baggage. Why is there a big gap in here? All right, so under social baggage, and why is it not? Let me reduce the size down. Sorry. I don't understand why it's. Yeah, okay. Well, I know. I'll just reduce the. There we go. Let's just reduce the size down, I guess. All right. So, lastly, this is social baggage, and under social baggage, we have like debt, leverage, infamy, mistrust, associations. I'll put an S on that. Promises, hunted, paparazzi, idolized, eavesdropped, gossip, exposed. And social baggage is you are engaged in some kind of social connection, conversation with some NPCs, but you fail in those social interactions, just like physical combat, you fail in your social actions. What is the end result of that failure from your social baggage? And these are some examples of that. I think there's some space to get rid of these or combine some and then add others. But the idea is that this isn't a charisma check in Dungeons and Dragons that's pass fail. Yes, you could intimidate a guard, but if you fail in intimidating the guard, if you make a dice roll that is both success and failure, because in this game there is 2d12, you use both dice, and technically you can both succeed and fail. This game has nuance. It is a if, no, yes, and or buts in the game, just like Powered by the Apocalypse. So you could convince the guard to let you through, but maybe the guard later s- warns the authorities, and so now you have infamy because you are a criminal. Or maybe there's mistrust amongst the population of you and others within the underworld or whatever. Or maybe you end up convincing someone so much that it actually works against you, and you're followed by the paparazzi because you perform some public action. Or maybe there's a small group or cult or faction that be idolizes you for what you've done, or the words that you've said, or your how you've convinced. Maybe you've done something and someone gains leverage against you, like blackmail, or um, they have video evidence of you committing a crime. They have audio evidence of you doing something. There's a family member that is important to you that you've always wanted to keep secret, and they know this person and where they've been hidden. Eavesdropped. Someone overhears your conversation and may use that or sell that information or trade that information with someone else. Associations. You say or do something, or pretend to say or do something. Maybe you lie, or you're convinced, and you now have an association with a faction you probably didn't want to have an association with. Gossip. People start talking about you behind your back, whether it's true or not, and word starts to spread about you and your actions. Maybe you become exposed. You're trying to hide your identity, and now you, in some way, shape, or form, you're now exposed to the population, or you're exposed to law enforcement, or something like that. You have a debt to pay. Someone black market you. You're like, hey, I'm in the underworld. I need some information, and they go, sure. You owe me. You owe me big time. You owe me cash. You owe me you owe me a promise, a favor, or something like that. And now it's being held above you. Hey, I'll do this thing for you, but you owe me a promise. And as a player, maybe a lot of players go, yeah, I don't mind. But this is a game where you carry around baggage. You're going to have to write down promises as a piece of your baggage that you're carrying around with you. And making lots of promises and not fulfilling them will fill 1, 2, 3 slots. And that means that you've got these stacked promises, and you have individuals that might be, maybe you become hunted by assassins. You're hunted by bounty hunters or something like that. So that's what what social baggage is. And mind you, all of these can be mixed, matched, used or not used, or abused as anybody sees fit. Fight Club, you really can be two people. Yeah. Dude, he's like, dude, don't wrap it up now. We haven't even gotten started yet. Yeah. Gaster Two Soul says, idolized. I smell a perfect way to fit in a Life of Brian joke here. Ooh, isn't that an old one, but goodie, right? Life of Brian. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, but it is great. It is a comedic, tongue-in-cheek movie, literally about like the idolization of Jesus Christ in a way. It is, but it sounds blasphemous and it comes across that way. But the Life of Brian becoming idolized, yeah. Yankee, yeah, we got 5 more hours. Oh man, Jason 96, don't worry about it. You're all right. You don't owe us anything. Shitlord says, idolized, eavesdropped paparazzi. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, I wanted to add in some sort of penalty that is the opposite of what we normally associate with succeeding and failing something, right? Like, what if your player character is so charismatic that they literally are followed by the paparazzi and are idolized, right? That's really, I think that's kind of funny. Like, if you're like, I'm Nasty McNastyman and I'm sneaking around because I always wear a black hood and no one knows who I am, and then there's somebody else like, I want to be just like you. you know I think even Batman has gone through that period of his life, like where other people are like, I'm gonna be like Batman as well. Yeah, maybe change either hunted or paparazzi to stalked. Hmm. One of these should change. I would change hunted to stalk, because it does hunted sounds more combat oriented, but you could literally be stalked by, say, a jilted lover or stalked by members of your faction that want you to return to them, or stalked by fans. Paparazzi is a specific type of stalking where these are individuals who are trying to expose you to the media for public consumption rather than rather than exposed and paparazzi is similar. I'm thinking of exposed as like an individual or group that doesn't like you and is trying to expose your lies or what they perceive you to be as lies. It may not be to the media, it might be to your family or friends or to your governmental organization you work with, right? Whereas the paparazzi is more media, television, Trio screens, internet based, social media based. Like, we're going to take pictures of you and let everybody know what you're doing. We're TMZ, right? Maybe, and I'm with you, Drew. There are other. Those of us that are thesauricians like yourself, there are other words that we can come up with. So yeah. And believe you me, you guys will have writing credit for this. Jason 96 says, do you use the HP skill challenge technique in these cases? Yes. There's no hit points, but yes, there is a version of that. That's true. Yeah, hunted by the predator, hunted. Yeah, stalked is when your ex, when it's your ex significant other, and paparazzi is when you're gonna go, yeah. People's front of the Judea. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Jesus, I got you. I'm already satisfied. Drew's like wiping her hands, like, yeah, I'm done here. I've done my part. Right. I love it. All right, guys. So, I gotta wake up. So, side note, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. And this sounds hyper specific. Like, why am I stuck on this damn thing about baggage and all this kind of stuff? The point is, I want to, here's my design reasoning. I want to incorporate something where it's negative on the players, you know, and I wanted a wound track because I actually thought about, well, why not just have a wound track? As you get hurt, you get -1, -2, -3. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do the death spiral churn. I don't know if I want to do that. And I was like, there's a different way. And I remember reading about that in Powered by the Apocalypse TSL. And I was like, oh, we could use this for Thirsty Sword Lesbians. And I was like, oh, and I looked it up and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want something that is proactive by players. Characters receive this negative thing and they can proactively narrate their actions as to get rid of or continue to carry around these harmful negative things that happen on their character. And then through the course of play, they can decide, do we want to go after the big bad? Do we want to go on our mission? Or do we want to pause and cure this thing? And remember, I love time crunching. So does the big bad get away because, you know, my character has a broken leg and is being socially blocked from going through the spaceport because the paparazzi are stalking me because there are idols out there that have idolized my character from being eavesdropped? Maybe you might need to have to challenge this and kind of solve this on your own. Now, again, social baggage may be difficult to get rid of, but it could be left behind where you're at, right? Like, maybe this baggage is only on Mars, but you go to Jupiter and it no longer follows you. But if you go back to Mars, you've left this behind. So this might be baggage that's something you acquire and leave behind based on your location, or it could be something that follows you around until you perform some action that works against the thing or solves the thing. Like, for example, it could be, I'm trying to think of something, a debt you can pay off, for example. You could confront gossip or the paparazzi or your promises by fulfilling them, right? Or you could even, you could go to the media and go, I know everyone wants an interview with me. here are my words, here's my opinion about this thing that you want, these pictures or whatever. Some of it is appeasing the paparazzi, for example, right? Maybe you could appease some of these things to temporarily get them released from you, meaning like, here's a picture of me at dinner with my boyfriends and girlfriends, and we're all together in our big polycule or something like that. Take all your pictures. Here's a couple of words. Let's get the heck out of here. Let's leave the nightclub. And you go, whew, okay, that's been done. That's all they really wanted was some racy pictures. Okay, let's get out of here. So there are ways to get rid of your social baggage as well. And of course, that's going to be game dependent, right? He's like, we aren't done yet. I hear you, Shice. It's like, yeah, we aren't done yet. The hell do you think you are? Anyhow, Shitlord says, surely there's no mail to be delivered on this last Friday before Christmas. Let's go another hour. Yeah. Yeah, appease that paparazzi, the next viral TikTok cooking show. Yeah. Appease that paparazzi. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being part of the show. Let's get out of here. Your time is very valuable. Thank you very much for spending it here. But I hope, in terms of you spending this valuable time, that I can make change for you and yours in your tabletop role-playing game experiences. Yes, I didn't turn the lights on. Yes, one of my other lights went out. I've got a black t-shirt with a black background with the darkness in there because it's not about me. I just want to show off some things that we've been working on. So thank you very much, guys, for being here. You're not done. You ain't done. You ain't nothing. Michael Jackson. Now I have to think of the song from Marlene Dietrich about having a suitcase still in Berlin. There's a song about that? Yeah, Drew says, in this case, leaving luggage on Mars. Yep, leave your baggage behind. Yeah. Hey, you can come with us, but you better leave your baggage behind. Yeah. Yeah, no year-end show gets off that easy. Hi, Jason96. Thanks for that discussion. Yeah, guys. Thank you so much. By the way, if I don't see you, and of course I will not, Merry Chris Mahana Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. A joy to all of you. I hope this is a small gift to everybody else. I do have seniority, but I can't go on that much. Guys, let me get out of here. I barely had sleep the other day and everything, so we're going to get out of here. So thank you very much for giving me a gift that keeps on giving. You guys have a great one. I will see thee later. Peace and tranquility. I'll take us out.